Guess what?
What? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode. Yes, do not see. They are not a sponsor. Welcome back to the second episode of Behind the Scenes Season 2. That is right. We are already in Season 2. Thank you for coming back with us. It's been a year and well, you know, somewhere around a year since we've been back.
It's been 5 minutes.
Yes, I know. We are so glad to be back. So happy.
No, 20 minutes.
And you know, one thing we did not mention in Episode 1, the season premiere, for Season 2, Adam. Where did Adam go? Adam is okay. He did not die in a horrible superhuman experiment accident and turn into Deadpool. No, he actually serves in the National Guard and had drill this weekend. Well, when we were filming this. So basically he's really busy, didn't have time to be here, but he sends his love, and he is a part of this team, a part of the Fort Pulse family. He has not left. He's just busy and he couldn't be here. So we would like to clarify that. But yeah.
I don't think anyone was asking about him, but you know.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, he would have gotten mad if we didn't explain where he was.
I don't think he would have cared.
Well, that's true, too. I did it because I had to have something to talk about. Wax on, wax off.
That's how he waves at people.
Wax on, wax off. So, in this episode, what are we talking about, Todd?
Well, we said something about talking about more movies.
I know, in the last episode.
Or do you want to just ramble?
You know, I think rambling about movies is better than if we continue our thumbs up, thumb down segment.
I wasn't really very into that anyway.
Okay, well, let's, you know, in the first episode, you talked about or in episode 1, rather.
I burped.
Yeah, you talked about Batman versus Superman in your opinion, and you expressed my opinion as well. Elaborate on that for us.
It's not good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's not very good at all.
I agree with you, yeah.
If you want to watch the good parts of the movie, skip to about 2 hours and 4 minutes in, watch the fight scene with Doomsday, and then you're done. I say the best character in that movie is Wonder Woman, and she gets like 20 minutes of screen time.
Why?
Because she wasn't on screen long enough to ruin her character. Batman not only has, like, I don't remember if his vehicles usually have Gatling guns, but they have Gatling guns in this movie, and he blows people up. Like, he has to have killed at least 14 people over the course of the movie. And when you think of Batman and what he does, it's usually he doesn't use guns, he doesn't kill people.
Now, is that a Christopher Nolan thing, or was that actually in the comics?
I'm pretty sure he just doesn't use guns. I think the gun part is in the comics. I don't know about the killing people. I don't think he kills people.
But see, why would Christopher Nolan make that such a big deal? Because that was a huge deal, especially in The Dark Knight. Batman does not kill people. He does not break that one rule.
I mean,
and then
I'm not a huge comic book guy, and if I am, it's not a Batman comic book.
Let me go on a tangent for a moment and interject here. I know I hate to interrupt your train of thought, but Zack Snyder, he has his fans, okay? Some people love him. Some people are okay with him. I personally do not like him. He, in terms of the films that he does, in terms of their aesthetic, don't like it. Gritty, grungy, we talked about that. It's not gonna work.
Too much dark, too much angst.
Exactly. Now, I'm gonna further that a little bit. He cannot carry out a complicated plot, as evidenced by Batman vs. Superman. Go back to 300. Not a complicated plot. Everybody knows what's gonna happen, okay? Everybody has known what happened at the Battle of Thermopylae when the 300 Spartans defeated this, you know, massive Persian force trying to conquer the Greek peninsula and the Peloponnesian peninsula, and what the 300 Spartans did for the Greek contingency fighting the Persians. We all know what was going to happen. And then he goes and does that other movie that nobody cares about that one blonde chick trying to escape the insane asylum that nobody gave a rat's crap about.
Yeah, I don't keep track of directors and junk, so...
I say all that to say, I go on that little rant to say, I don't like Zack Snyder. Which is why I was very weary of this film and all his future films.
A huge mistake they make. First mistake of the movie, very first scene, they retell Batman's origin story. Do not do that.
We've had enough of that.
Everyone knows that origin story. His parents died. Get over it.
They're kids in China, kids in the Himalayan mountains in China, in Tibet, know Batman's backstory. Okay? We don't need that expressed anymore.
I mean, he's the only one who gets the backstory in the movie too. Like, they don't even give Wonder Woman's backstory. She's never even had a movie. Batman has tons of movies, and they don't even give Wonder Woman's backstory. You know nothing about her coming into this movie.
Come on,
she gets so little screen time, and she's like, she's my favorite character in the movie.
And it's not like we didn't know she was.
Things.
Yeah, and it's not like we didn't know she was going to be in the movie. She was in one of the trailers.
And it's just like, Superman's just kind of there. His suit's supposed to be like bright blue and stuff, and this continuity Superman is so dark, and they're trying to give him human problems and make him relatable. You can't make... I don't know what that was. I guess it was my chair. You can't make Superman relatable. He is an all-powerful alien. His problem should not be, am I doing the right thing? His problem should be, how do I stop this nuclear missile and save Lois Lane at the same time?
I don't know if I necessarily agree with you, but I will say more evidence to back that up. You know, one of the reasons that makes Batman versus Superman so compelling is you have Batman who represents humanity. No superhero powers. He is not technically a superhero. He is technically a super person. He is a hero, but he is not a...
He's a gadget hero.
Exactly. He does not have powers, quote-unquote powers, such as
money.
Superman. Exactly. He has intelligence, money, resources, wealth, ideas.
Money and wealth, the same thing.
Not technically, but, I mean, for the sake of this video, we'll, yes, say that. And then you have Superman, the polar opposite. He's technically a god from another planet, literally, powered by the sun, superhuman strength, laser beam eyes.
Wonder Woman and Alfred are both the only good characters in the movie. Alfred's okay.
Yeah, Alfred, but see, it's really hard to screw up the character of Alfred.
It really is.
So
he has like the only jokes in the entire movie, and there's like 2 of them, and there's kind of like muttering to himself jokes, so they're not that great.
Yeah.
And the only joke that I thought was a joke in the movie turned out to be, it was a serious analogy that had a joke in it, and that joke turned out to be foreshadowing, and to a very big scene in the movie, which I'm not going to talk about because, I mean, eh.
Yeah, and in case you didn't realize, there may be spoilers in this film.
And my absolute biggest gripe with the entire movie as a whole, other than how dark and angsty it is, like, if you're going to have a super movie, give it some jokes. Superheroes are not supposed to be super serious all the time.
And you don't have to go Deadpool jokes.
No, Deadpool's a comedy.
Exactly.
But look at the Avengers. It's serious, but it has its jokes.
Absolutely.
It's relatable because all the characters are human for the most part.
And as I was telling him, even The Dark Knight Rises, one of the most serious superhero films to ever exist, had jokes. The Dark Knight had jokes. Batman Begin had jokes. You know all of Tim Burton's Batman films had those corny jokes. I mean, throw in some jokes, people. It's not hard.
Like, I mean, you don't have to have a Batman credit card like that one older Batman movie to have a Batman joke. It's not hard. But, like, my biggest gripe above all isn't even that, or the darkness of the movie, or how they're trying to make Superman to a relatable human being. No, it's the casting and design choices of Lex Luthor.
Oh, here
they have a little bratty kid with Weird Al hair who is supposed to represent this large, imposing, powerful, intellectual villain without hair who is supposed to have, like, a sense of command and leadership about him. And Lex Luthor is by far not my favorite, like, DC villain, but he's supposed to be, like, a larger, more powerful man. That he's yes, I see your picture, but... Like, see, he's at least like
he's supposed. That's what he's supposed.
An adult.
On your screen, we're going to compare movie Lex Luthor to actual Lex Luthor.
Like, when I think of Lex Luthor, I think of the Justice League, animated Justice League Lex Luthor, the guy with the big, broad shoulders.
Yes, intimidating.
His outer appearance represents how he acts. He's cocky, but he's cocky because he has power and knowledge to back it up. He is self-sufficient, but he knows how to make people work for him. He is powerful in the way that he's not super, like, he's a little full of himself, but not to the point where he's blinded by it. He knows he's not going to be able to take down Superman alone half the time. And he's not a bratty little kid.
And I mentioned this, you know, when we spoke about this earlier as well.
And yes, yes, spoiler, they shave his head at the end of the movie when he's in jail. But that does not make him Lex Luthor. No. That still makes him a bratty little kid who is super cocky for all the wrong reasons. And yeah, I guess he's an adult in the movie, but I can't think of anything other than a little kid, because that's just how he acts.
The acting, and once again, I haven't seen the film, but from just the little tidbits I saw in the trailer, Jesse Eisenberg does a phenomenal job in terms of acting, not necessarily carrying out the character.
If he was a
but
new
he does a good
villain
job
that
acting.
wasn't named Lex Luthor, I would have liked him.
Oh yeah, but and that's the whole thing. The character in the film is great. If it were a different. If it were based on a different character. For instance, if this was some new supervillain that wasn't in the comics and they just created it, it would have been awesome.
And, you know, maybe they're building up to him becoming the Lex Luthor of the comics. Maybe he's going to grow
and
into
that may be
role.
true. Because there will be Justice League films, and he may have a part to play.
It's a bad start. I have a lot of personal gripes. I'm not a big DC fan. I like The Flash. If I'm going to say DC, it's going to be The Flash. But I just... If the movie itself was decent, I could forgive characters who need some growth periods.
Well, and you saying there, I like The Flash in terms of DC. I want to mention a point here. In the previous episode, we talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the Marvel Cinematic Universe spans not only cinema in terms of film, it also spans television and web series. It's all the same universe. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., is in that same
I gotta catch up on that.
universe.
I'm like a season behind.
Daredevil is in that same universe. Iron Fist will be in that same universe. The Punisher will be in the same universe. Jessica Jones is in that same universe. Luke Cage will be in that same universe. With DC, you have your film universe and you have your television universe. Because see, The Flash on the CW,
The Flash
Legends
is
of Tomorrow,
briefly shown in a security camera footage clip, like foreshadowing a future movie in this movie, and it's like he's got like a beard and he's like dark haired and he looks kind of half homeless to me.
But it's not Grant Gustin from the television show.
Like, I don't know what Flash they're going for though. Is it Barry Allen? Doesn't look like him.
Well, see, that's
Is
not
it Wally West. Doesn't look like him.
That's not my gripe though.
You would normally say it's Barry Allen because if you're going to start a Flash series, it's going to be Barry Allen,
yeah.
and it's going to grow into the other characters.
Yeah.
But
my issue is there's no continuity between their television universes and their television universe and their film universe. Whereas with Marvel, you have what you would want to do and go across different mediums with the same universe. But no, Zack Snyder, quote unquote, wants to do his own thing. He wants to take it down a dark, serious path. And that's another thing. I think this film takes itself too seriously.
Superheroes do not need to be dark and serious.
They need to be serious in some instances. They don't need to be corny, though. But they also need a little comic relief. I completely agree with you.
Like comic books, like you pick up like 9 out of every 10 comic books, not going to be super serious.
It's going to have some jokes thrown in there.
Even Wolverine, who is a fairly serious character, cracks a bunch of jokes.
Mm-hmm. And they're good jokes.
And let's see, who else super serious? Batman, super serious most of the time. He cracks jokes, especially when people think he has superpowers.
Yeah.
God, that's why I love the Flash because of how like jokey and unserious he is.
Yeah.
And like Superman, he's not cocky, but he's got that in most of the comic books. He's got that confident attitude where he's confident and he's confident enough to make some wisecracks every now and then.
Yeah.
And his support, even if he's not making jokes, his supporting cast does.
Yeah. And another thing, and I'm hitting a lot of points, and I'm not really giving proof or details in all of them. But another kind of digression. This is more for the film folks out there. Okay, Christopher Nolan was the man behind Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. 3 phenomenal films, especially the latter 2, and in my opinion, The Dark Knight, the best one of the 3. He was on board for Man of Steel. He helped write and not direct in the sense of the position of the film, but he helped move the film and direct the film in the direction that it ended up, bringing on Zack Snyder. With Batman vs. Superman, he was not on the project. He was not on the project at all. And you could tell the plot sucked. The storyline sucked. You go back to Man of Steel, wasn't the best movie in the world, probably because, again, in my opinion, of Zack Snyder, but you could tell there was a Christopher Nolan influence.
You know what else sucked about the Batman vs. Superman movie? The Bruce Wayne dream sequences. Horrible. I don't even. Horrible. When I got through the third one, I was like, this kind of sucked. I understand it's supposed to be like all dark and serious and foreshadowy and stuff, but if I get to another sequence I think is a dream, I'm skipping 5 minutes ahead in the movie. I think there's only 3 in the movie though, luckily.
Oh, thank goodness.
Because I'm just like, I don't want to watch one of these again. I feel like I did not gain anything from watching this. It's like foreshadowing him like clashing with Superman or something. And it's just like, well, duh, he's going to clash with Superman. I don't need that foreshadowed. It's in the title of the movie. I feel like I just wasted 5 minutes of my life on this thing.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie, I felt like I wasted 3 hours of my life on that thing.
But, I mean, and in the end, you're going to have folks that are attracted to the film just because of the action. And that's one thing that I have heard about the film. The action is good.
You don't get any action until about 2 hours in.
But
one chase sequence.
But there are fans of the series out there, especially of the DC universe, that they will wait that long. They will sit through 2 hours of absolute minutia and just.
I would not recommend this film to anyone. And
to see the action.
Watch this film away from my head, I'm going to go see Civil War a second time in theaters.
Hallelujah.
Which I've never seen a movie twice while I was in theaters.
Really?
I'll usually only see it once, and then I may watch it again.
I haven't seen Civil War yet, so
I don't make it a habit of watching movies multiple times. Usually, I watch it once and it's in my head, and I don't need to watch it again unless I just.
But see, I enjoy watching movies over and over again.
I'll say there's certain movies I've watched more than once. Like I've watched just the original, not the second one, the original Avengers, like 10 times.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good one.
It's a great movie. Lots of comedy, diverse cast of characters, lots of things to pick up on that you may have not caught the first few times. Just a good background movie that you can just watch, and no matter which part you if you're on and off paying attention, no matter which part you pay attention to, it's going to be a good part.
Yeah,
that movie is just full of good parts.
But and I hate to cut us off because this conversation could literally go on for hours. But Marvel is light years ahead of DC and Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers and DC have a lot of catching up to do. The content, the base content is still good. Marvel Comics, DC Comics.
I think I think I would disagree.
The film's completely different.
I think Marvel's got the movie thing in the bag, but I think DC has a better TV series. Like they have.
Oh no! I will agree with you on that.
Animated series. They had Justice League animated. They got the Flash and Arrow and DC Legend of Tomorrow.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Yes.
But Marvel Cinematic Universe, you cannot beat their movies.
No.
If I had to give it movies versus TV, Marvel movies.
But again,
DC TV.
But again, DC TV universe should be the DC film universe. They should be the same.
It makes sense. DC TV and Marvel M for movies. It makes sense.
But
as for comics. We'll call it a tie.
Yeah. In the meantime, guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us again. We love doing the podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on the channel. Don't forget to harass Todd in the comments if you want to. But yeah, I guess that's it. In the meantime, guys, peace out.
Bye.
Should I do the end credit thing again? Should I do that? I mean, if we're in the second season, I'm sure people are tired of me doing it. Should I do the end credit thing? Should I do that? Okay. End credit scene!